Hey Fab Ones, before we jump into this episode, I want to put you on to the hair company that's about to save us all. Thanks to investors like Serena Williams, Maven is changing the beauty industry in a major way. That's Mayvenen. With the new Maven install program on shop.maven.com, purchase hair from their online store and they'll pay for you to get it installed. That's a shampoo, condition, braid down, sew in, and style, all on them. A free service in 250 plus cities. The brand has grown since its start in 2013 and is now working with more than 50,000 hairstylists and communities of color. And that's why we love them. So here's how it works. You purchase 3 or more bundles, closures, or frontals on shop.maven.com and they'll pay for you to get them installed. Yes, it's basically hair and service for the price of one. It's perfect for this tight budget at the end of the year. After you choose your hair, you'll be matched with a certified stylist of your choice. Thankfully, Maven has already done the legwork for their customers of finding the best certified and licensed stylists in your area. Y'all know we're super picky about who gets all up in our hair, but Maven's got us covered. It's so easy, and thank God, because we just don't have time for anything else. If you're not a bundle queen or simply want to try something else, Maven still got you covered. They also have frontals, closures, wigs, clip-ins, my personal fave, and tape-ins. It's the holidays. Treat yourself, sis.
Hi guys, welcome back to the YBF podcast. It's the holidays, and we needed to do a little hot topics action to get into this holiday spirit.
It's a whole
hot topic holidays. Holiday hot topics.
Holiday hot topics. I like that. That has a little ring to it.
All right, we got James back with us today, our New York correspondent.
You know, she only calls me in when she really wants to tea about what's going on. So
I guess. I mean, if you got firsthand news, I'll be wanting it.
I mean,
it's so sad that like coffee actually makes me it just changes my mood. I was not in the best mood this morning, and
especially
then
New York coffee, like the bodega coffee with the blue cup. You could
just run in. Okay, so we're recording at Samsung 837, and the amazing 3-story cultural and technology playground in the Meatpacking District in New York City.
Yes.
In the gorgeous podcast studio. And so right across the street, there's this place called Hector's. And James needed a chapstick.
My lips were chapped.
I mean,
and I needed some.
It's cold as hell.
And if you know Lower Manhattan, like we know Lower Manhattan,
there's nothing.
There's no bodegas.
And not in the meatpacking.
At all. But this random little spot.
Right across the street. And Hector's was like, we got you covered. So just like a New York bodega, they got a whole diner. Like you said, they had oxtails and everything up in the diner. And then you go to the checkout counter, he got a whole CVS back there. Yeah. It's chapstick, it's cold flu and medicine, and I mean everything.
Cigarettes.
Everything. And
whatever
you
want.
I just want a coffee and water. And I hate when people make my coffee. I can't stand it. And I was actually annoyed that I was like, can I do it? She's like, no, I'll do it. And it's so good. But that's the beauty of New York. You could just pop in anywhere and get some good ass coffee.
Good cheap coffee too. I might go get me a second cup after this.
I mean, it changes your mood. How was your Thanksgiving?
It was great. You know, when I didn't have a chance to go home to Louisiana, so
I thought you were at Bayou Classic.
No, I missed Bayou Classic this year. I decided to be a grown up and have a Thanksgiving here at my home for me and my household. So that's all it was. That's what we did. So yeah.
Come on, household.
Yeah.
Okay. Things are getting serious over there.
Gotta do a little something.
Call it a household when you just got a boyfriend. Or
no. Well, yeah, you know, and take two. Yeah, you know, I just kind of just chilled here.
I'm dying. Okay, I can't say that.
Just chilled here in New York, you know, for me and my household. Kind of hung out. That's about it. That's all we did.
Boo. I'll just say when you got a boo.
Yeah.
Oh Lord Jesus.
Jesus, listen.
Anyway, so
Natasha would get you caught up. Quickly, listen to me. Natasha will get you caught up, Lord.
I feel like so crazy and bad. Okay, anyway, moving on.
I'm breaking in sweats over here.
Me too. Oh my God. Okay. So yes, my Thanksgiving was just as insane. So it is what it is. People and their significant others. I'm not here for significant others coming to Friendsgiving. I'm just not. Like, let's not do that anymore. Just FYI, people. Don't do it.
Why? But why? I mean, why not? Why not?
Unless y'all are married, don't do. And even then, I'll be side-eyeing everybody. Like, it needs to be and because for us, me and my friend group, our Friendsgiving is Thanksgiving. Like, we don't do Friendsgiving separately. Like, we all just like had weird experiences for Thanksgiving at home. And like, I think like 5-6 years ago, we all decided to just like spend Thanksgiving here in the city instead of doing that back and forth trek and being at home. So we actually do Thanksgiving together. As a family friend circle. So we like rented a house and like in like about a couple of hours away. And it was just beautiful, but it's like I like for it just to be us friends. You know?
I mean, it was different. I mean, I think Friendsgiving, they really didn't become a big thing for me until I moved to New York because I was always spending time with my family. So I would say this is actually my first time really attending a Friendsgiving as a guest or a +1.
Oh,
so
that was interesting, I'm sure.
Very much.
Anyway, so let's get started on these hot topics, y'all. All right. Oh, by the way, did you know that Jay-Z turned 50 years old?
I would believe it.
Wow. Like I'm not shocked by it, but it's just like, damn, he really 50 out here. And could still tour. Yeah, could still tour and everybody would sell. It would sell out and everybody would go. I love it. And I hate when people say, "Oh, you're too old to rap." Like Aerosmith and them still touring. Like, stop it. Kiss is like 85, falling over, using a cane on stage. Like he's fine.
He can do it. Tina's still doing it.
Exactly. Like still like about to be a billionaire. Like he's doing his thing. I love it. I'm surprised at him and unless Beyonce gonna release these pictures a year later, like she sometimes does, I'm surprised that she didn't do like a huge 50th birthday party.
I'm sure she did. I'm sure it was probably really hush hush. You had to put your phone in the bag before you walked into the door.
And then when she does her year-end pictures on her next birthday, that's when we gonna finally get the pictures. Be like, oh, when was this?
Right.
Well, this was Jay-Z's amazing 50th birthday party. Really, girl?
I'm sure it happened. There's no way in the world Jay-Z let 50 go by without celebrating it.
Without something. Something big is either going to happen or already happens, and I can't wait to hear about it. Okay, so let's kick things off with... I don't even feel like talking about them. Like...
Talking about who?
Khloe and Jordyn. I'm annoyed by this. We're going to make this super quick, but I think like I'm just annoyed. Y'all know I'm already annoyed with all Kardashians, but I'm annoyed mainly because I feel like Khloe is either she's immature or she doesn't realize what she's doing. It's one of the two. But she keeps posting these subliminals that are clearly aimed at Tristan and Jordyn, and she gets upset when people start to ask her questions about it. And she posts subliminals about like, oh, always watch your back, and people don't have your best. You know, all those little quotables that where you're clearly trying to send a sub to somebody trying to tell them something.
Like she's seeking for attention or something.
Always. And even on her show, they showed I think the 2 episodes ago, they showed Tristan sending her all these gifts and even a promise ring, and she's just like, I mean, I thank him very much for everything that he's doing, but it's just, you know, you weren't this nice to me when we were together. And I understand what she's saying, like be thankful, be nice, be civil. Right. Thank you for the gift. She even says she's not going to keep them. But you showed it on TV. Aren't you an executive producer? If you didn't want people to talk about it, if you didn't want to show it, then don't show it. So here's what happened. Khloe Kardashian posted these IG posts. I don't know if this was after or before Jordyn posted what she posted. Okay. But Khloe posted some IG posts basically talking about backstabbers and talking about how you've grown, like you don't worry about the haters and backstabbers anymore because she has too many things to be, she can't carry around that hate burden anymore. And just like long, drawn out posts on IG stories that you got a screenshot to read it all. It's like, girl, okay, we know you're talking about Tristan and Jordyn. So Jordyn chimes back in with a shady little post, not even shady, but just like a post of her own saying, by the way, everything I post, she didn't even say it to Khloe. By the way, everything I post is not about specific people. It's not about you. It's not about this. It's not about that. I go through a lot of things daily. not everything is about specific people. So stop reading into everything. Basically telling Khloe, you ain't that important, girl.
Right.
Then Khloe pops back again with a long drawn out another post talking about, well, what I was saying earlier was geared toward Jordyn, and it was geared toward Tristan. And people are asking me, why aren't you as mad at Jordyn as you are at Tristan? I am just as mad as Jordyn. Girl, no one asked.
I mean, if you remember, we think about a few years back, Khloe was always the forgotten sister. So she has that mentality craving to where I feel like she still feels forgotten. Ugh. I mean, think about it. I mean, Khloe has had so much go on between Lamar, Tristan, Jordyn, and she's still being forgotten because Kim and Kourtney are being talked about before she's been talked about.
I just know that I'm tired of her getting mad about being talked about. She even said, I wish people would stop commenting about this. I wish people would stop dragging this up. Girl, you drag it up every day with your obvious subliminals. Be better at subliminals if you don't want people talking about it. Take it off your show if you don't want people to. I'm just sick of the look at me. Oh my God, you looked at me. I'm so mad. I'm sick of it.
Because it's almost similar to what Kourtney did. Kourtney basically navigated what was going to be on her show in her life. Mm-hmm. And she chose to not have certain things going on with her and Scott and her kids and whatnot.
And they got mad at her for that.
You're
not being part of this whole project anymore. You're the least interesting sister, and she's really not. And I think that they're just upset that she's actually forming boundaries, and they don't like it because they can't form boundaries. They have to stay relevant with their irrelevant asses.
Can you imagine being on a reality show for so long?
I don't think Kourtney ever wanted to do this reality.
I don't think she wanted to either. And honestly, I wouldn't be shocked if Kylie and
I was going to say that. I don't think they
kind of
like
back up away from it as well. This is for Kim and Khloe. This show, Kim, Khloe, and their mama. This is who this show is for.
And Corey. And his hips.
Oh no, not the hips. Oh, not the.
I love Corey.
Not the Madea hips.
Listen, I'm a curvy girl. I support all curvy people.
Oh no.
What up, Corey?
I hate you.
Okay. I'm over talking about them like they get me riled up. I can't even. Okay, so Justin Timberlake has spoken out about his co-star Alisha Wainwright. They are now filming a story in our hometown, a movie in our hometown, New Orleans. And in the movie, Alisha Wainwright, who you know if you watch Raising Dion on Netflix, she's the star of that. She plays the mother in Michael B. Jordan's, I want to say widow, but I don't even know if he's really dead. I don't know. So she and him went out after, I guess after filming. Now, there ain't no cameras. With the videos that we're seeing, videos and pictures, there ain't no cameras around. There's no director. There's no anything. So this is clearly after they were filming. And they all went out as a cast and crew, according to a source. They went out to some bar. I can't even tell what the bar is, but it looks like something.
It's definitely in the quarters on the balcony.
I was going to say, it looked like downtown in the French Quarter. And they looked like they were out on the balcony, just chilling, like probably not thinking anybody's really looking at them.
Yeah.
And it looked like just a few people around them. And then it was Alisha and Justin Timberlake sitting next to each other in a chair. And then someone zooms in and you see her hand real close.
Real
close to that inner thigh.
Real clear,
too. Real high up. Just resting. Not like a little touch, like resting there. Then he holds her hand for a while. Now, I will say, he does look drunk. I mean, he looks clearly like he was at that bar for a while. And it looks like they're doing this because, again, they're the only two sitting down and it's on a balcony. So they're not, and it's only a few people around them. I doubt they're like, oh no, let's stop this. To me, it looks like something they do often and they just forgot that somebody can see you.
So, okay.
That's all I'm saying.
Okay, yeah.
And then the video, because people are like, oh, this is just a snapshot. It could have been 1 second. It could have just been like she was just patting his knee like, hey, Justin, like she had just sat down. Okay, so here comes the video. The video shows me, nah, dog. She's looking at him in his eyes when she does it. And then he looks at her when she stands up. He kind of grabs her waist and like, it's all very, if my married ass husband was on a set and did this after work, not only am I flying down there to whoop everybody's ass, but I'm mad at everybody for even allowing it. Like, I can tell that y'all been doing this for a while. I'm not saying that they went home and they had sex and they're cheating. I actually don't think that. I mean, she has a boyfriend allegedly back home, wherever she's from. I actually don't think they're like smashing and doing. If they were, I would not be surprised.
I mean, it is New Orleans. I mean,
and also Justin has a history allegedly of doing some things. I would not be surprised if it happened, but I actually don't really think that they have this ongoing affair, but it was 100% inappropriate. And people were mad that people were saying that.
Is there a difference in what's going on with Justin and what happened with Tristan and Jordyn? Isn't it kind of like a similar situation?
No, because they didn't kiss. Tristan and Jordyn, like, allegedly made out. That's an obvious cheat. Whereas if you're touching someone, looking in their eyes, holding hands, to me it's an obvious cheat. And we've talked about cheating on this show before. Y'all know how I feel about that. It's a deal breaker for me. To me it's very similar, but to most people, I was looking even at our comments on Instagram. Even women were like, "Oh, that's nothing." What? So you will be okay with your man? You're not there. Your man is at work or after work with a coworker, a woman with her hand on his inner thigh, honey, looking at him in his eyes. I don't care, drunk or not. Absolutely not. A drunk actions speak a sober mind. So to me, it's like, this is something y'all have always wanted to do. We all know Justin like a little chocolate. We all know.
Not we all know.
I mean, I thought it was completely inappropriate, and I was actually very upset that people were mad about people being mad.
What if Justin and his wife allegedly have an
open relationship,
an agreement?
And people brought that up, and I would be like, okay, then fine. Then then it's not. It still is what it is. Like, I mean, we're still seeing it from the public eye. So if you're okay with people just thinking that he's a cheater, then you do you. Right. I mean, that's on you. That's not for me. But that if you're okay with that, Jessica Biel, then fine. To me, it doesn't seem like she's okay with it because, I mean, this happened like over a week ago. And now it was all over the place. I'm not going to lie. And Elena's people put out a statement saying she has a boyfriend. This is not true. Nothing happened. This is just a moment in time or whatever. And I'm still like, something's still shady. So a whole week or so passed, and Justin just the other day puts up a statement. Now, most of us have forgotten this even happened.
Right. So it almost seems like it's something going on within the household.
Exactly.
And
it seems to me like Jessica does have a problem with that. And she's like, you better. You need to say something. Put out this statement.
You have to say something.
So he states that he confirms that he was definitely heavily drinking, and he was pretty tipsy and pretty drunk, and he did inappropriate actions. That's what he said. And he was like, but I did not have. He didn't say I didn't have an affair, but he was basically saying there was inappropriate actions that I regret, that happened. Basically, the whole touching and all that stuff. And I apologize to my wife, and I apologize, and this is not a usual happening. I mean...
Now, here's what scares me. Him putting that... So, his co-star put out a statement stating that nothing happened, it wasn't true, that she has a boyfriend at home. And then Justin put out a statement a week later stating that, there was some inappropriate stuff that happened. I was drunk.
How does she look now?
So now how does she look? Is she gonna be perceived in Hollywood as a homewrecker? And then on top of that, honestly, let's be honest. She's a black woman.
She is. Yeah.
So now you have basically been thrown underneath the bus.
Damn, Justin, you stay throwing black women underneath the bus.
Thrown her underneath the bus because she said that nothing happened and that she has a boyfriend at home, and you turn right around a week later and say that something did happen because you were drunk.
Here's exactly what Justin said. I stay away from gossip as much as I can. But for my family, I feel it is important to address recent rumors that are hurting the people I love. Translation, Jessica told me to get my ass on Instagram and write a statement because she's pissed.
ASAP.
He also says, a few weeks ago, I displayed a strong lapse in judgment. But let me be clear. Nothing happened between me and my co-star. I drank way too much that night and I regret my behavior. I should have known better. This is not the example I want to set for my son. I apologize to my amazing wife. You know she edited this and put in amazing. And family for putting them through such an embarrassing situation. And I am focused on being the best husband and father I can be. This was not that. I am incredibly proud to be working on Palmer. That's the name of the movie. Looking forward to continuing to make this movie and excited for people to see it. And some people were saying like, oh, this is just a publicity stunt to get more stuff in the movie. I actually don't think there was like a planned publicity stunt. I think maybe would they capitalize off of it? Who wouldn't? But I mean, to me, he is admitting that this was inappropriate. So all of y'all that kept saying that it's not, James, if you were somewhere and you saw your significant other at I don't know how you got that. Maybe somebody's IG stories, they were in the background because you know I'm an investigator, so I be looking at the background.
I zoom in quick,
real quick, blow it up. And if you see something in the background or somebody's just taking video and picture, but they, you know, it was kind of like in. It just wasn't intentionally taking it of that person. It just so happened that they were in it, and that's your significant other. And you notice that he's holding hand, or they are holding hands with someone, or you know, I don't even want to say a kiss, but there's touching. There's it just looks
some intimate
suspect.
action. Let's go with that.
What would you do?
I mean, I've been on the friend having to go to a friend and say, yo, I have some photos that you should see.
No.
I have been on that end.
I don't think I would do it because the friend's going to be mad at you.
So it was actually, okay, this is how it happened. Someone contacted me and said, hey, I have photos of such and such husband.
Oh, not husband. Bring it. Keep going.
Out on it. Clearly had to be a date with some woman at 2:00 in the morning. So I don't want, and this is how a lot of females actually do think, and I'm glad you said that because this is how she handled it. She said, I don't want her to be mad at me. Yeah. So can you please take these photos and bring it to?
She thought that she wasn't gonna be mad at you.
Oh, she wasn't mad at me. Oh, she wasn't mad because my friends know me and they know that if I'm coming to them with something, it's all my intentions are all nothing but love and it's all respect, and I'm not going to come to them in a really sideways way of doing it. So she actually accepted it from me, and she took it, and yeah,
Are they still together?
Yeah,
what were they like? Well, they were in public, so they weren't sexing, but like what were they doing?
It was 2:00 in the morning. They were at a diner in the corner, like really close to one another. Like it was a very intimate.
And I'm sure that he explained it away because if they still together,
listen,
y'all know that's my deal breaker. I'm not playing games with that. You can call me insecure. You can call me whatever you want. That's only a symptom. Like it's gonna get worse. If he got away with it, why wouldn't he keep doing it?
And at that moment, I started opening my eyes and said, well, maybe they may have an agreement. They may have something that we don't know. I'm going to say this. I've been saying this all year. I've been saying this for a while. There are more couples and relationships out there that have agreements than we know.
Oh, I agree with that.
And I found this out for sure recently.
What?
During Home-Cumming.
You met like swingers?
Not swingers, but like I heard like there's like during I told someone I always wanted to have a real homecoming.
Yeah.
I've never had a homecoming. Like when you go back home during a homecoming and you actually like get it in with someone that you've never I've never had a homecoming, and I didn't know that was a thing for relationships.
Wow.
I found out that there are some people that
said homecoming spelled Cumming.
Cumming.
Wow.
I have not had one, and I want to have a homecoming.
I know a few people that say, actually 2 of my friends have now hosted some type of homecoming where like for their high school or their college group of friends. And they, you know, all got together, whether it was like a picnic or some kind of outing. And apparently, and neither of them even realized that this was a thing, but apparently both of them were like, yo, we were planning for obviously the married people to bring their spouse. And it's, you know, we would plan for, if it's 100 people, we would say, okay, it's going to be 150 because it's automatic +1 if somebody has a spouse. You would assume they would bring them. I mean, whatever. They were both like, I mean, pretty much none of the men want to bring their spouse. A lot of the women don't want to bring their spouse, and they intentionally said, I'm not bringing my spouse because I want to be single that weekend.
Yeah.
And I'm like, what?
Yes, I think it's something new to our ears, because we never really saw it, or I guess within our age range, it was never talked about. But again, like Home-Cumming, when I heard that, there were so many conversations about, you know, my husband said I can get a pass with you, or my wife said I can get a pass. Like, that happened. And I'm not saying it's a bad thing. I'm all for it because, again, I've never had a homecoming, and I want a homecoming.
Oh, my God, James. Would your significant other be here for it?
See, here's the thing.
Oh, God. That's a no.
You just put us on blast. We've spoken about this, okay? We have spoken about this homecoming situation, okay? We actually talked about it recently again after homecoming.
Oh, no.
Yes. What? Please, listen.
Wait, y'all were both in agreement of this? Absolutely not. Y'all are what is going on? What is going on, people?
Your life is your blueprint. The only person that's going to make you happy is yourself. And if you are in a relationship with someone, you all create that blueprint together, and you make that blueprint the best way you know how.
Whatever works for y'all works for y'all.
Exactly.
But I do ask, who is it that, well, I ain't gonna lie, there are a couple people from high school or college, I'd be like, dang, I really wish, not wish, but like, what would it be like had we, it's not that I was like feeling them in college or high school, or even if I was, it's like, you might not even realize you're attracted to them until you see them again.
Yeah, that
Because I was going to ask, who is it that you actually want to get it in with that you haven't talked? Clearly, there's a reason why you haven't spoken to them and seen them in a while. You weren't interested. Why would you suddenly be interested? But I can imagine how you go back and somebody is fine as hell now or rich as hell now. You like, oh, Zaddy, yes.
Listen, it happens. I promise you, it happens more than often. And I think a lot of these couples do it because they understand that their significant others are not stepping out because they ultimately want to. They're not happy. They're stepping out to have this experience, and a lot of couples have decided like, okay, you get your experience, and I have my experience. It's almost like that episode of Black Mirror.
Oh my God, I was about to bring it up, but I didn't know if you've seen it.
Oh yes, I saw it.
With the guy from New Orleans.
He's on Watchmen.
Anthony, yes, Anthony.
Oh yes. But actually, the other guy,
he stars in Watchmen opposite Regina King. But yes, Anthony. What's his last name?
Mackie.
Anthony Mackie, and the guy from, we're gonna look it up. Can you look up his name? The guy from Watchmen, who is fine.
Why do I feel like he's from Louisiana as well?
He is?
I saw something on his Instagram because I started following him recently.
Or maybe he was just there visiting Anthony. Okay, so if y'all have seen that episode of Black Mirror, there was only like 4 episodes that season, and it was one of them. And it was him, Nicole Bari, Anthony Mackie and Nicole Bari's character were married. And apparently they, I mean, it seemed like me and my cousins actually had a debate about this like the day after Thanksgiving.
Oh, I would hear about, what was this debate about?
Because they had just watched the episode. Because, you know, my cousins are married. You've met them. And they feel like he didn't really, well, my cousin Jewel, who's the wife, obviously.
Is it Yaya? Is his name Yaya?
I think so. That sounds about right.
Mateen.
Yeah.
Yes,
yeah.
Okay.
It seems as though, maybe from a wife perspective, she felt like he just, like they were just off. Like they just need to get back on, and it was just, you know, something they could work on, and he didn't need to. It's just like, oh, well, why allow him to go off and do that? Why would she be allowed to go off and, because toward the end of the episode, she was, I guess, allowed, quote unquote, maybe agreed on that she could now go to the bar and do whatever she wanted to do.
Off and everything.
Yeah, I don't know if she was gonna have sex with anybody. I don't know, but it was just her way of just feeling herself, doing whatever she wanted to do, and not losing themselves in this relationship. Apparently, as a married couple, they felt like, of course, you go through those things where you're bored in a relationship, and as long as you stay together, that's the important thing. And I completely disagree with that, because I'm like, I don't think that it's about boredom per se. I don't think he wants to be with her.
That's what you thought it
blank.
was?
Yes. Not because it's her. Not because it has nothing to do with her. I don't think that he wants to be in that relationship. How are you this bored that you're willing to, that you just are dying to have sex with someone else constantly? Not because you don't like the person that you're with. He probably does like her. He probably does love her. That doesn't necessarily mean that y'all need to be in a marriage or be together. And I'm not saying this is against her. She's probably the most amazing, perfect wife. But that doesn't mean that he wants to really be with her. And that's okay. I just don't think he was living in his truth. I'm not saying that he was gay, straight, bi, whatever, because I think that Black Mirror was purposely trying to make that vague. Like, you just don't know, because he was playing a game and a character in the game as a woman, having sex with the character who was his best friend, playing from wherever he was playing from. You know, the technology
the best friend played the woman. He played.
I thought he was playing the woman.
No, the best friend played the female character.
Oh.
That's why it was different for me, because the best friend was able to feel the simulation of the female.
See, I thought Anthony was saying that this whole time. I'm getting confused.
You know, Anthony played the guy.
Okay.
Anthony played, he was the male character.
And then even the best friend kept saying, I've tried to do everything to get it out of my system. I've tried to play every character in the game. I've tried to have sex in the game, because apparently it was this futuristic game where you could, wherever you're playing, like if you're playing Mortal Kombat on your couch, as soon as you hit start, it puts your physical body into the game in some way, shape, or form. So they hadn't talked, these best friends hadn't talked in a pretty long time. And then they met back up for his birthday because the wife invited him over and he brought him that game. And so that's kind of how they were connecting, him wherever he lives, and then Anthony Mackie's character wherever he lives. They would meet on the game. And then it just escalated from, let's just fight and play Mortal Kombat, to, oh my God, I'm kind of attracted to you. And like you said, the best friend's character was a woman on the game, and Anthony was a man in the game, and it was only those two characters that had that feeling too.
Yeah, was I think he played a side chick. Honestly, he was almost a side chick.
Yeah, he was definitely a side chick. He would, oh my God, he was getting mad whenever Anthony's like, I can't play the game tonight because it's our anniversary.
Yeah, side chick.
Let me tell y'all why.
Side chick. So I'm gonna say this. So here's the thing with Natasha.
Oh God.
So I feel like, in that, with this particular episode, let's think about it from the female perspective now. Now you said that he may have not wanted to be with her. What if the female actually just simply wanted to have her own fun also? My best friend,
I don't think she did.
And I absolutely love my best friend, and she said it the best way and she said this that I've never heard a female say. Sometimes females just want to have fun as well.
Absolutely.
So guys, fellas, it's okay to go in saying, I don't want a relationship.
Oh,
I just want to have fun. I
100% agree with that.
So for me,
but
I
not
think,
in a marriage 8 years later.
I wouldn't put it past. What if she did just want to have fun in that marriage?
Then if you do that, then y'all discuss it before you start doing it. To me, it was, like I said, you were hiding it for a reason. It wasn't something you want to do mutually. It wasn't something that you just wanted to embrace in yourself. It was almost like you were fighting it.
But
why are you fighting it?
But she hid it when she went to the bar the first time.
She didn't hide anything.
She didn't take the ring off the first time, but she told
him about it.
But she had the intentions of wanting to do it.
She didn't have the intention. She was just saying, like all women, we have options, and y'all men act like we don't, because y'all out here thotting and bopping and thinking that just because a woman comes on to you, then oh my God, now I have to have sex with her. Men hit on women all day, every day, and we know how to be like, it's not that. Even if we wanted to, we're like, it's not that. It's not pressing. Now, if we wanted to, that's different. I don't think she wanted to, but she did throw it in his face at dinner, in that anniversary dinner, when she was like, you realize when I go to the bar, and she was there meeting with somebody else, and the person left, and then a guy came up to her like, can I buy you a drink? And she was like, oh, well, I still got it. It was kind of that thing. She didn't like go there with the intentions to find a man. A man just literally came up to her and offered.
She was open to it, and
she was open to it after homeboy was thotting and bopping with his best friend.
I also think that once we become comfortable enough to say that, even females that are married and have been married for years, they're more open to doing other things outside of their relationship. And that's fine,
but you need to discuss that before someone starts cheating. That's all I'm saying.
But he didn't cheat.
Oh, see, here we go.
He didn't cheat.
Here we go with that definition of cheating.
He didn't cheat. It was almost equivalent to him.
You don't think it was emotional cheating?
Is it?
Absolutely. It was emotional cheating.
See, that's how you get it. Y'all come up with these new terms. Emotional cheating.
It was emotional cheating.
Was it emotional or was it physical?
He would have sex with his wife, then hop out of bed to go freaking play this game to have sex with his best friend. And then the best friend couldn't even get it up while he was having sex with his girlfriend.
So what if he wanted to have sex with his wife and then get out the bed and go watch some porn?
Listen, I think porn is a little different because it's not real. And that's something that's more fantasy.
Says not. Who says so? You can get you some virtual porn.
Porn isn't real.
I mean,
they're literally filming a movie. Just because a penis goes into a vagina does not mean that it was.
What if it was the virtual paid porn?
And also, you're not in the porn. It's not you having sex. You're watching people have sex. I don't have a problem with porn. That's not. Now I have a problem with you going into a game and having sex with your best friend. Yes, that's an in-person situation. That's you physically being involved, you emotionally being involved. And then he was like even mad. You could tell that he was emotionally invested, even though he didn't want to be. He was, and so was the best friend.
Some of y'all best friends are in y'all drawer, y'all dresser drawer. All you got to do is put 2 AA batteries inside of it, and I mean, that's an emotional.
No, I'm not emotional. It's an inanimate object. I'm not emotionally.
But you're emotionally attached to it.
No, I'm not. Not an inanimate object. These were two.
Maybe not you, but some
beings.
Women are.
Then he need to step his game up. If you allowing her to get attached to a doggone,
if you're allowing him to get attached to a video game,
and that's the thing. Like I don't have a problem with porn and anything like that. But if you become dependent on it, then I have a problem.
You need to try virtual porn, the virtual reality porn.
I've seen it.
I've tried it.
It just doesn't do anything for me. I like porn with a person, and like it's like an extra level to our relationship, or even by myself, maybe, I don't know, but it's not. I don't really care. It's not a big thing. It becomes a big thing when you become dependent on it, when you become emotionally invested. That is a problem in your relationship. And so that was the issue I had with them. Same thing with Justin, same thing with all these people. If it's a symptom where there's smoke, there's fire. That's my issue with it. That's all I'm saying. And listen, if you a woman, and this is what I was going to say earlier, if you're a woman and just want to have fun, please by all means go do it. If you're a man and just want to have fun, just please go do it. I actually posted this on Facebook one day too, with why men don't flat out just say to women, hey, I just want to have fun. I don't want to have a relationship. I don't want to do this. I don't want to have that. Why don't y'all just do that more?
But why we gotta keep throwing it on men? Sometimes it's women also.
Well, everybody should be upfront about what they want.
Completely.
But people aren't, and that's where problems come in.
But
this is my issue with Homeboy.
It's like just like men. Like there's a lot of women that I know.
A lot of men be lying. A lot.
And women do what?
Women don't lie.
See?
We're going to move on.
See, fellas, I'm going to stand up for us in this YBF podcast. I promise you. Natasha ain't going to throw us underneath the bus, just like Justin Timberlake did.
I have more respect for men who flat out tell me, I'm not looking for a relationship because I can't handle a relationship right now. I just kind of want to have fun. Even when they go as far as saying the crazy shit like, I mean, I kind of, I want somebody to chill with. I want to talk. I want to do this.
I want to
go out. No, not crazy,
okay.
But I want to go out. I want to do this. I want to talk. I don't want to just have sex. I want it to be a little bit more than that, but I also don't want a relationship. That is it's kind of like, I was like, so you want a girlfriend you want girlfriend, perks without a girlfriend? And he was like, the one dude that told me this, he was like, yeah. I was like, you know what? I respect that. And it actually was kind of a turn on, and I loved it, and that's what we had. And I was okay with it. My issue is when you lie because you think that you can't have me or have a woman unless you tell her what she wants to hear. That's a problem. You're not entitled to women. Stop lying. Just say what you want, say what you feel, and stick by it.
You know how many women lied to me and got in my drawers?
Boy, we're going to move on. We are going to move on.
See, Natasha ain't ready for the real.
Never mind. I'm not even ask how that happened.
Listen,
women do not lie to get in drawers.
I was able to tap into my masculine side and tap into my feminine side like good old our good old brother.
Goodbye. Okay, so Billy D. Williams talking about. Billy D was like, what the hell is gender fluid? Okay, so, oh gosh, this is just ridiculous. So Billy D. Williams did an interview because Star Wars is coming out or is out or whatever. Do you watch Star Wars?
I've seen it.
So this is like the last installment,
yeah,
right?
Yeah, I don't really watch like that.
So they're doing all this promo, and y'all know Billy D is like 105. Like, stop asking this man.
110, if you ask me.
Stop asking this man deep questions, please.
Let me find out.
What?
Billy and Diana got the same makeup artist.
Child, Billy just want his Colt 45, okay?
Is that what he drinks?
Well, you know, he was like the Colt 45 spokesman back in the day. The malt liquor.
A long time ago.
It was in the 80s, like before I was born. Like early 80s. Anyway, so he did an interview where the 82-year-old actor said, and you see, and he was talking about his character Lando in Star Wars. He said, you see, I say himself and herself because I see myself as feminine as well as masculine. I'm a very soft person. I'm not afraid to show that side of myself. Mm-hmm. So media outlets, I feel like including the one that he said this in, I can't even remember. It was an Esquire magazine interview. I'm not sure if Esquire themselves said it, but I feel like they did. A lot of media outlets took the quote and said, Billy D. Williams is gender fluid! Exclamation point, exclamation point. And people were just like, I'm just so happy for him. I even saw Billy Porter was on Extra, and and the other Billy Bush asked him about it, and he was like, did you see that Billy D. Williams said, all the Billy's child, that Billy D. Williams said that he was gender fluid? And Billy Porter was like, yes, living your truth, Billy D. And I was like, wait, did this man actually say this? And so later on, this is hilarious. Later on, he says, I was actually misunderstood.
Yeah.
He doesn't even know. He doesn't even know what the term means. So he was talking in a new interview, and they asked him about this, like, "Oh, you're gender fluid. How does that? How did you come about this?" And that's amazing. And he said, "Well, first of all, I was asked last night. I said." When I was asked this last night, I said, what the hell is gender fluid? That's a whole new term for me. He said this to The Undefeated. And he said, what I was actually talking about was about men getting in touch with their softer side of themselves. There's a phrase that was coined by Carl G. Jung, who was a psychiatrist, who was a contemporary of Sigmund Freud. And they had a splitting of the ways because they had different ideas about what do you call it? Consciousness, unconscious. It's a collective unconsciousness, but he coined that phrase. And he says that there's another phrase called anima animus. And anima means that this is the female counterpart of the male self, and the animus is the male counterpart of the female. So that's what I was referring to, he says. I was talking about men getting in touch with the female side of themselves. I was not talking about sex. I was not talking about being gay or straight. People should read Jung. I mean, it would be an interesting education for a lot of people. I mean, he's not wrong. People should educate themselves. Also, gender fluid is not about sex either.
Listen, you know how we sit around the table or after dinner during Thanksgiving and we start watching TV shows and we're like, oh, you remember the show with such and such user? And we start killing people off.
Yeah.
And like, well, don't tell me he dead. And then we're like, and we Googling like, well, he's not dead. That's what we're doing with gender fluid, like the actual term in the LGBT. We're just throwing people in there, like adding them to the list, and like, well, is he part or is he not part of it?
Well, even if somebody said they were gender fluid, that does not mean they're gay. So I was very confused on how those two things were conflated. I didn't even understand why they were in the same discussion. But they did ask him to clear that up. And are you gay? Are you straight? Are you what? He goes, no, I'm not gay by any stretch of the imagination. Not that I have anything against gay people, but personally, I'm not gay.
That ain't for Billy. Don't do that to Uncle.
He said he identifies as a man. A very cute man, he says with a chuckle. I mean, I think that he's just old. Y'all, stop asking Billy D stuff.
That's almost like going to Cicely Tyson, asking her questions about, I don't know, anything that's going on with Nicki Minaj right now.
Right.
Come on. She's old and it's not something that she's really connected to. So let Billy live his last days.
All right, so there's two engagements to talk about since we're on semi on the relationship discussion. The engagement queen herself, child, she's stay getting proposed to.
Did you just call her the engagement queen?
Miss Toya Wright, she is engaged again to Mr. Robert Rushing, her baby's daddy. I love it.
Come on, baby daddy.
It. So it seems as though that they were not previously engaged, not previously married, like people were talking about and rumoring back when they went to Greece together. I don't know why people thought this and assumed this, but they weren't. So now they are officially engaged. He popped the question to her like a little bit after her birthday. And I mean, she's gorgeous. He seems to be a very nice dude.
He's older.
Is he older?
I feel like he's a little older than her. But then again, Toya's actually not young if you think about it. She's not.
She's a few years younger than me. Like 2 years younger than me.
What number engagement is this for?
Number 3. Well, this will be her 3rd marriage. Now, I don't know if she had like people on the side proposing and she just didn't tell us, but this will be at least her 3rd marriage. And I'm not mad at that at all. I do think that she should write a book. Not about her bonnets, not about her skincare, which I also still want to know, but she needs to write a book on how to be proposed to and how to get a man to propose to you. If that is what a woman wants in her life, if you want to read a book on it, if you want to be married, I feel like Toya Wright is the one to write the book to help you out in life, because this chick stays getting a ring, okay?
So Toya writes a book on getting proposed. Sierra writes a book on
the prayer.
Oh, the prayer. Oh, yeah, you all still talking about that prayer.
They need a package deal.
Has she not shared that prayer with you?
I mean,
all
she's
yet?
given us. No, she has not shared the exact prayer, which I understand. Keep it to yourself, Sierra. We understand, but she's given us like the gist of about what she was praying for and how she set herself up to be ready and to be the person that she was expecting in someone else as well. And Toya can write. Toya, girl, you better add this to your little, whatever website you using to sell them bonnets. You better add a workbook and a book. But on how to get proposed to.
But I mean, is that something still that women aim for to be engaged and to get married?
And that's why I said not all women. This is not something that if you don't care about engagement and marriage, then ignore what I'm saying. I'm saying for the women that really still want to be married and they don't understand how to move from girlfriend or bae to wife, don't read Steve Harvey. Read what Toya Wright, the woman who is being proposed to, can tell you.
And not to sway off the conversation, because I watching a reel the other day, Chrissy was on there and the question came up about her engagement with her and
now
Jim.
she suddenly doesn't want to be.
So it's not high priority anymore.
Well, why would it be when it's been 15 years and he hasn't proposed? Obviously, it's not high priority.
Well, the proposal is there. The wedding not happening is not high priority anymore.
So is marriage a priority or the wedding's not priority?
I don't believe even like making that walk down the aisle. I believe they're engaged and they've been engaged for a while.
Have they? Was that a real when she proposed to him?
I thought something happened after.
I still haven't gotten any confirmation on that. I don't know.
I thought something happened with the engagement, and I think the question swayed around like the wedding now or moving forward. And she's like, it's not priority anymore.
I mean, I don't think it was ever a priority for Jim Jones. So it is at this point, either you stay and say it's not a priority for me either, or you leave. It's really one or the other. Yeah. So I guess she chose, well, I'm just going to stay and say it ain't a priority. And that's fine. If that's how you want to live your life, do as long as you're living in your truth. Mm-hmm. Like I said earlier, stop lying to people. Say and feel what you say and feel, okay?
Say what you mean what you say. Say it with your chest.
Anyway, so, yes, Toya Wright is engaged, and congrats to them. They have their baby, Rain Rushing. She is, I don't know if she's 2 yet.
She should be about that age.
Almost 2, or maybe already 2, one of the two. And it seems like he has a great relationship. Robert Rushing has a great relationship with her daughter, Reginae. He posted up a really cute message for her 21st birthday. And they seem to be a really cute family. He's a Falcons fan. They're Saints fans. So that's going to be a household issue. But they seem to be having fun with that. And yeah, now they're on vacation, living it up as fiancés on their 20th vacation of December.
Vacation from vacation.
Because they stay on somebody's vacation, honey. I don't know what they're vacationing from. I don't know. Do they have a timeshare in Mexico? They stay up in Mexico or desert.
What does he do? Does he work in the music industry?
He's apparently a travel concierge. He runs Rush Life, and that's a travel and well-being situation. So maybe they're doing all this for his job.
Got it. Noted.
I don't know. But he seems to be a cool, he doesn't seem to be with the shits. He doesn't seem to be like really weird and just trying to get attention. He actually just got on Instagram. Like it wasn't something that he really wanted to do. Okay. So maybe this is it for Toya, honey. 3's a charm.
3
Get it popping,
and who's the other engagement?
The other engagement is Deelishis and Mr. Raymond Santana. So you will know Raymond Santana if you watched the Central Park 5 movie by Ava DuVernay.
Yes.
The series, sorry. And he was one of the Central Park 5. So listen, I don't know how this came to be.
She said it's kind of odd.
That's very odd.
Okay.
I don't know what happened. I don't know how they met. Actually, I do know how they met. He was doing like a book signing or some type of appearance somewhere like right after, I don't know, with all this
press and whatnot was going on.
After the docuseries aired and during award season, stuff like that. And I think she was at something that he was speaking at. Okay. And he alleges that he's always wanted to meet her. He's always like had a thing for her. And they met there. He shot his shot, he said, and asked her out on a date. They went on a date. Now, I didn't think he was living in Atlanta, but I guess he is. I think she's living in Atlanta now because she did Candy's Dungeon tour and all that. Yeah,
she's touring with Candy, doing all of that.
Yeah, so I think they're both in Atlanta. I thought he was living somewhere else. Maybe he upped and moved. I don't know. But they went on a date. And the rest is history. They went on vacation like a week ago. And I was like, how'd y'all go from a date to vacation? Like all of this has played out and I want to say under a month. Like literally at max quick. 4 weeks. Yeah. At max
engaged already.
Right. So when we posted about them actually going on a date, people were like, excuse me? What's happening? And then it escalated to now they're on vacation and now it's here at engagement. So he posted that he gave her a ring and that she said yes. And she has a really weird reaction, according to our commenters. And she like grabs his face and gives him a kiss. Now, listen, when I first posted that they went on a date, I thought he was married. He had called a woman, his wife, up until this point, like up until a few weeks prior. So I was looking like, doesn't he have a wife? And everybody was asking the same question. So I did my digging and I looked. He did have a woman he had been living with. They have a whole daughter, like a preteen daughter together. And they have been and they have been living together up until this point. And so listen, I don't know what happened. And Homegirl loves it. Homegirl stays posting about him on her page. He stayed posting about her on his page. He called her his wife. Now, a lot of men just be using that term. Yeah. So I don't know if it was like an
especially when you get older in years and you've been
and
together
you're living
for a
together
while.
and you have a kid. I don't know. But I do know that they were definitely living together and together up until damn near that point.
So don't tell me this is another case of when someone got a come up, they didn't left their entire family. Allegedly.
I'm just giving y'all the facts.
Come on, Deelishis.
I'm not putting 2 and 2 together. You can put 2 and 2 together.
Is the wedding invite going to say delicious?
Oh, my God. Lord, I will say Deelishis. This is a random fact, but Deelishis was one of my very first interviews back in the day when she was on Flavor of Love. After didn't she win Flavor of Love? Or
I
she
believe
came in second or something like that.
It was something up there.
And so I interviewed her. Because they asked me to, and it was over a decade ago, and it was over the phone, and I will say she was the sweetest person. Like, she is a real sweetheart.
I liked her on the show. I think she was one of my favorites, actually, from Flavor of Love. The episode, the scene when she kissed him in his mouth, or anyone kissed him in his mouth, I was a little turned away from that,
right. But well, she is a sweet girl. She looks very different now. She's definitely had some work done on her face, even though I don't think she's claiming that she has. I think she's beautiful. I don't think she needed any of these surgeries she's had. She's definitely had some body work done, which she didn't need, once again, but she's gorgeous. Is she trying to get a come up? Do I think that she would have met him in the club and dated him and then got engaged 4 weeks later? Had he not been part of this Central Park 5 and gotten this huge settlement, I don't know. Just posing that question.
Wait. Okay. I ain't gonna say nothing. I'm gonna keep him
remember he got a settlement. All of them got a settlement.
A huge settlement. Huge settlement. But she basically, should we say that word? Like, come up?
I'm not putting 2 and 2 together. You all can add 2 plus 2.
Oh, okay. I was gonna say, because didn't we just say side chicks are?
Side chicks stay winning. Honey.
Winning.
But I'm. Listen. These are the facts.
I ain't the one to gossip. So you hear from me.
These are the facts, okay? If you look back at his Instagram, which he might have erased at this point, these pictures, when they first went out on a date, I promised you, it was less than a month prior that he had just posted about his quote-unquote wife. And, okay. Anyway, moving on. Okay, so Jason Derulo. I know. I'm shocked. Whatever. Let's bring it back to Jason Derulo's package. Okay, so Jason Derulo... Why you?
Nigga, womp womp womp.
Oh.
Okay,
why are you mad? Okay.
I'm not mad. I just feel like you all are drooling over a man who probably.
Anyway,
come on. Let's. If we're gonna be real, let's be real.
Nope.
Okay. All right. Let's keep going. Because see, the thing is, I'm going to say what some of y'all are thinking.
I'm going to tell what happened, and y'all are going to put 2 and 2 together.
I'm not the one to gossip, so you didn't hear from me.
I'm not adding 2 and 2 in certain situations, and this is one of them situations. Y'all figure it out. Okay, so here's the deal. Jason Derulo, pop singer extraordinaire, has taken his Haitian body to the Instagram with a thought thirst trap. So what he did was post up a shirtless and bottomless with only those boxer briefs that are very tight nut huggers. He posted those up. He was not promoting boxer briefs. He was not promoting fitness. He wasn't promoting nothing. He just put it up there and said, hey, basically.
Are women attracted to those type of, like, I think those are some of the ugliest underwear ever.
Boxer briefs? Oh, no, boxer briefs are amazing.
I'm going to say the kind that he has on. They kind of remind me. You remember years ago?
Trunks.
Remember years ago where the shirts with the animated dragon and stuff was really well known for
like
people?
In the Van. What do you call it?
Yes, the Van store. That's what those underwear remind me of. I think they're really childish and yeah. So
so he just posted up a picture of him walking in these underwear, dripping with water all over him, and women lost their minds, and some men lost their minds, and because in his boxer briefs you could see
just print everywhere.
Yeah, just a print, and it was a long print. In a large print, and he didn't cover it. He just posted it on. It was not a sock. Do not hate on that man.
He
just posted it uncovered and unedited, and people lost it. Fast forward to, I want to say like a week after that, Instagram decided to rip down the picture. Now, this is where I do co-sign with Jason. So Jason goes on, like, he was mad. He went on Instagram stories and also did a post about how Instagram is being unfair and how all these thoughts out here, female thoughts out here, posting their ass, they chest, everything, and Instagram lets them post it. But the moment he posts himself fully, technically covered, yes, there was a huge print, but technically covered, he gets that ripped down for violating community guidelines. Now, here's why I agree with him. Instagram is unfair. We stay getting stuff yanked down on our page that I see everywhere else, or that we didn't even post first. Like, we got it from someone. We were reposting what that celeb or whoever posted. So why didn't you take down theirs, but you took down ours? It just doesn't make sense. Also, 50 Cent, The Game always posts those thirst trap pictures with a print, and they're still up.
Nicki Minaj's stories.
That's everybody, a lot of people on Instagram, the Kardashian Jenners, all of them stay posted pretty much butt-naked ass pictures or huge prints, and they're still up. Now, we get upset about that with even Kim K posting flat-out nude pictures on Instagram, but we get yanked down when someone's in a bikini. Like, I don't agree with that unfairness. I don't know if they're paying off Instagram or Instagram's being very choosy with who they allow to do that. Either way, it's not fair, and I agree with him.
Yeah, completely agree with him. I mean, if you think about it, most people who are getting ripped down or photos getting snatched down, it's probably someone of color.
Yep.
So it's coming off very, I guess he looks aggressive. It looks too sexual on Instagram. Well,
he said don't blame him for what his Haitian family has given him. That's what he said.
So it's funny that you bring up that photo. And this is my question. Most of the times, a lot of female celebrities, they run with females in their crew. They're girls. They have their girls with them traveling everywhere, whatever the case may be. most times I see the guys. They're running with their guys and their crew because that's what they're. Who took that picture of Jason?
Actually, it did look like a professional shot. Like, again, I don't know what he was promoting or if he was going to promote something. It looked like a professional shot.
But for me, I would be an uncomfortable man having to take a photo of you as you got your junk together, and then I have to be the person that says, move it up a little. It's not straight enough,
honey.
Or it's not bulgy enough. Like
it happens.
With that, but does that give you a different perspective of that picture? Noticing that, knowing that, no.
Oh. I mean, as a woman, like when you're doing professional photo shoots, you'd be surprised at like how many times even that men have had to touch my body and move things around or tell me move your boobs here
for a professional photo. But for me, I didn't think that was a professional photo. I felt like that was one of his homeboys actually took that photo in that house.
And my homegirls have had to move my boobs and had to move, but I am a woman, so I don't know if it's
exactly
different. But yeah, I mean, it's happened. It happens. Now I don't know how men do their photos. I don't know, but it happens.
Listen, my ex-girlfriend dogged me out one time when I called it was my frat brother. I called like, yo, we're going out tonight. What you wearing? So
yeah,
she was like, men don't ask men what they're wearing when they're getting ready to go out. I'm like, how is that? Why is that a problem?
Oh, I didn't think they did that. I mean, I love it if you do. I just didn't think they did it.
Hell yeah. I want to make sure I'm not too overdressed or too underdressed as I'm hanging out with my homies.
Okay. Do you, boo. But anyway, Jason Derulo
and that piece
is upset, and he wants y'all to know. So I don't know how y'all feel about it. Everybody was drooling and losing their minds in our comments. But now that he said what he said, I don't know how y'all feel, but I agree with Jason. If you have to take down Jason and take down Kim Kardashian's naked ass photos when she was laying in a motel room, you remember those pictures?
Yeah, but she didn't have to stroke herself in order to get a bulge. Like,
but she also wears stuff where she strokes herself. Well, I don't want to say like maybe she doesn't, but sometimes stroking your nipples to make you have nipple prints, and those are allowed on Instagram. But they allegedly Instagram said that they thought his penis was erect in that photo, so that's why it was too sexual for Instagram. That's what sources are saying. Like, of course, Instagram never really gives you a reason other than you just violated guidelines. But that's allegedly what they told media sources. Maybe that man just big, okay? I know that y'all at Instagram are not used to that, but sometimes that's how it is. I mean, shoot, everybody ain't used to it.
Listen, I'm just being quiet because I have so much stuff that I could say that I'm not going to say.
Everybody ain't used to a big anaconda, and that's okay. Mr. Unbothered of the Year, King Unbothered, Omarion, has given us more to praise him about. So after him and Fizz... Okay, wait, let me back up. For those people that do not watch Love and Hip Hop or were not following B2K back in the early 2000s. So Fizz and Lil Fizz at the time, but now Fizz and Omarion were part of B2K. Do we all remember? Yes, yes, yes. So now they both have joined Love and Hip Hop in the last few years. Love and Hip Hop Hollywood. And now Fizz was dating and had a child with Moniece, another person on Love and Hip Hop.
Toxic.
And very toxic relationship. And then Omarion, of course, had 2 children with April Jones, who also joined Love and Hip Hop with him at the time because they were very much a couple. Like, they were pretty much married or about to get married. Like, they were very close. They fell out, apparently. Like, I honestly didn't even realize that they were ending until he just kind of stopped posting about her. She stopped posting about him. She was always crying, talking about, I'm by myself now. I'm a single mother. I'm this and that. And then, did a wine line.
About? Which one's been crying?
April was crying all the time.
I thought you was talking about...
No, I think that's why we never knew what happened, because Omarion literally never said, we've broken up and we've done this. Like, it just kind of happened. And April was upset and would talk about things on Instagram and started a wine line. Would talk about she drinking herself to sleep because it's, hard out here as a single mother. And then suddenly... this past season, I don't know if it's ended already, if it's still on, Love and Hip Hop Hollywood. Yeah. So we see her and Fizz getting closer. Now, Fizz and Omarion go way back. They are group mates in B2K, and they have done, they did the first Millennium tour together. Like, they were, now I get that.
Basically like brothers.
Yeah, and I know everybody in groups are not best friends, but I don't know. Now, they claim that they weren't always, well, Fizz claims that they weren't like brothers. I feel like that, I don't know. I don't really believe him about that.
Okay.
But that's what he claims. He was like, I mean, it's whatever. They denied having anything, Fizz and April. We
For
could
a
all see
long
it.
time.
Right. We could all see it on the show.
Basically.
To me, it was very obvious, and April was just bursting, just ready to tell the world she was with Cutie Fizz. And Moniece had an issue because that's her baby daddy, and she just always got an issue. I mean, everything came to a head. And then recently, they both, Fizz and April, admitted to being in a relationship. After April was like, oh, he's just always been there for me. I'm a single mother, and I'm always
With
upset.
the touching
and I'm
of the
always,
thigh situation
yes,
and all of that.
I'm just, going through so much, and he is like ugly crying, and he has just done everything for me. And I'm like, well, doesn't Moniece say Fizz don't do enough for their kid? How is he doing everything for you and your 2 kids? What is going on? Like, it just seemed very extra.
It was a lot.
But then now they've admitted it. Now they're Instagram official. Fizz has taken the pictures of April. Now she's showing her ass because she done, quote unquote, done squats to get an ass. So now she's always posing in lingerie, and Fizz is liking the pictures. They're posing kissing. Like, they're doing a lot on Instagram and have very much confirmed that they're a couple. Now, everybody's looking at Omarion like, bruh, look, people can do whatever they want to do. We all adults. But, bruh, like, isn't there a bro code? Isn't there? I mean, I would be a little upset. I would have a right to be a smidgen upset, right? But he never said anything. And then Fizz kept posting real petty stuff. Like, I think one time he posted and deleted like a picture of himself holding something and said something about I'll take your woman, or I'll take your baby mama, something like that. And everybody was like, really? Wow. And Omarion never said anything in return.
Just kept it quiet.
Real unbothered.
Just kept it quiet.
Fast forward to the announcement of the new Millennium Tour. Omarion not only announced it on Fizz's birthday.
Petty.
And did not include Fizz in the tour. And I promise you, Fizz and all of B2K just knew they was going on tour because they were on the first one.
Oh, wow.
And it's Omarion doing this, so of course the B2K would go. Omarion said, oh, not so fast. This tour is going to be Bow Wow. It's going to be, I mean, he named everybody.
Every single body.
Sammy, like everybody from the Millennium.
That we all grew up on listening.
Right, and we all looking at the post like, well, where is, just scrolling.
Just scrolling
Like,
away.
where
Like,
is
is there a
B2K?
new surprise that's coming?
No, there's no B2K.
At all.
And he was like, and here it is. Thanks, guys. Tickets go on sale next week.
And that was it.
And so homeboy from B2K, what's his name? The cute, funny one?
A little Slim.
No, what is his name? He did the post about, well, damn, Omarion, I didn't know that you were just going to leave us out of this.
Now you telling me something I didn't see. I didn't even know that happened.
Hold on. I'm going to have to scroll through our Instagram, but another member of B2K, I'll get his name, went on Instagram stories and was like, so apparently B2K is not going, and Fizz messed up our money because he wanted to smash Omarion's ex, his baby mama, which is a problem. Fizz,
And I'm sure they probably couldn't have taken Fizz just out of the crew.
So that's what I was wondering. I was like, why didn't they just... Oh, it's J-Boog. Sorry, J-Boog did this. And I was like, why didn't they just bring everybody but Fizz? Did Fizz have a real big part in B2K? I don't remember.
I don't think so either.
Well, it sounds like J-Boog is trying to get back on the tour because he hit up like Sammy and other people on. He was like, y'all, I'm going to see y'all in L.A. I'm going to see y'all when y'all come to L.A. And everybody commented, yeah, dog, it might be a special surprise, like kind of hinting that he might join them there. So Omarion does not care. And then as it goes on, like as of yesterday, he's still announcing new acts. None of them being
Still
B2K. He announced Ashanti before he announced them.
Isn't that what Immature did when they recently did? They had an episode on Love and Hip Hop recently, and Marcus Houston performed, but the entire crew of Immature isn't there.
But I think it's because for the first part of the Millennium Tour, B2K was on it. So if you're going to redo it, and extend it, why you just leave them all off?
That's shady.
Especially if they all assume that they were going to be on it. That tells me that they had been working on doing it, and then they just basically was like, Omarion was like, actually, no. So in another recent post where he announced Ashanti as joining, he then announced, new person coming on tour, my brother Orion. So as you all know, Omarion has a brother who looks identical. Are they identical twins or are they just brothers?
I think they just look alike.
I mean, they look identical, but they are brothers. Orion's coming on tour. Now, Orion is Janae Aiko's baby's father.
Mm-hmm.
Her daughter is Namiko, is her name, I think, is her daughter's father is Orion. And in the post that Omarion posts about Orion joining, he puts #BroCode. And it's just so shady to me. He even but a good shady. He even did like a whole little promo where they did that "Was Up," from back in the millennium days. And all the 25,000 people that's gonna be on tour joined in. I mean, it was like, and you're still looking like, are they gonna cut to Lil Fizz? Are they gonna? Nope.
This was gonna add Moniece to the tour before he put
basically.
God.
So I don't know. Maybe Fizz and April should go tour. She's trying to sing.
I mean, they can. I mean, why not? I'm with it.
I think it's kind of messed up. Like, I get being I think it's great that he's unbothered. I do think he's bothered, though. I think he's handled it the right way, though. He hit him where it hurts, and that's the money. But I do think it's messed up. Even if y'all aren't the best of friends, y'all have been getting money together since y'all were kids. And y'all clearly are in each other's lives. Do not start a relationship with his baby's mother. That's gross.
With Love and Hip Hop, is it in their contract that they have to date people on the show? That's one like
it might be actually
like even Moniece, she was just on the show with Booby.
It might be the
so
case.
Are they about to go into a relationship? Like,
Mona just
come on,
creating
Mona,
storylines,
open up relationships,
creating storylines for non-actors.
Moniece, I don't know. I don't know, Moniece, you are so toxic.
Oh, poor Moniece. Whatever. She was kind of right though.
She's still toxic though.
Ooh. Okay, wait. I have to pull up the next story. I might cut this part because it just went away and I don't know why.
Hey.
Okay, here it is. Oh, okay. These are the last two because I feel like we're going over time, but we deserve it.
We're actually on time.
Do y'all still love us? No, it's still 12, not 12:30.
Oh.
Do y'all still love us? Tell me when we have to be out. Okay. Actually, there's two more I want to do. So, speaking of family ties, let's talk about Dwayne Wade going in, and Dwayne Wade's son going in on commenters and people talking about the youngest son and his crop top and nails.
And nails.
Okay.
And they weren't just basic nails.
Listen.
There were nails that you get because you want to scratch your hole with. You want to scratch him with.
So Dwayne Wade's son, his youngest son, Zion, hasn't come out as a specific. He hasn't labeled himself in any way, but he does say he's part of the LGBT community. So he's about 11 or 12 years old or so. And they've always supported him, brought him to the LGBT pride parades. Yeah. And Gabby and Dwayne are 100% just like all supportive, as well as their other son, Zaire, and as well as just the whole family. They always have the baby in on it. Kavia just always like, with her little baby, with her brother. I mean, like everybody in the family is very supportive of whoever Zion says that he is. Yeah. And he clearly, when they post pictures with Zion, I think that people think it's okay to comment. People forget that he's a child, and they be like,
somebody's child.
Yeah. Oh, his pants tight. Oh, he got on this crop top. Why y'all allowing him to look all gay? And it's like, well, one, he never labeled himself as gay, even though he is an LGBT. We don't know what he is, but he's still a child. Even if you felt that way, you really shouldn't have commented that and said that. It's really gross. So everything came to a head recently for their Thanksgiving picture that they posted. They posted a family picture with the kids, as including Zion and Gabby and Dwayne. And the picture shows Zion in a crop top and having his nails, because his arm is over his dad's shoulder, his really long acrylic nails. And people lost their shit. And I thought it was kind of gross what I saw people saying, and I appreciate that Dwayne stepped in like, no, this will not happen, and he went clean off on everybody. What did you think about the picture itself before we get into Dwayne's response?
So it's funny. So we just talked about this at my crib the other day. I am completely open to kids expressing themselves, but I do still believe that there are still some parameters that we must have. Because for me, because he's what, 12, 13?
About that.
I wouldn't have said anything negative. I wouldn't have posted anything negative, but I wouldn't have allowed my 12-year-old niece or 12-year-old daughter to dress that way. So for me, it's almost like I would have the same rules no matter if it's male or female, straight, gay. That's my only thing. I don't, at 12 years old, there's no way in the world I would let a little girl dress that way. So that's the only thing. Other than let him express himself. Let that young man do what he does. Don't put him inside of any category to say that he's straight, gay, or gender fluid, any of that. Let that man live it. Let that young kid live his life. But yeah, I don't think I would have allowed that. It's a certain extreme that they're allowing.
Yeah, I think that was a lot of people's issue as well. I think it just wasn't articulated properly, but also it shouldn't have been articulated at all on their public page that the son can see. Now they can raise their children however they want to raise them. It does kind of remind me of the T.I. thing where people were like, well, he is allowed to do whatever he wants to do with his child. Yes, but to a certain extent, because when it starts to affect their well-being, I do feel like other people, and when you put it out there for people to comment on, I mean, I don't say we have a right, but I mean, we don't live in a society where everybody's 100% for themselves. Everything affects everything. Yeah. So in some ways, how you raise your child does affect me, and it does affect my child. Down the line, it's going to affect me or my child. You know, like how they interact with the rest of the society.
Or
is going to
affect. Or another kid that may be in our family that's part of the LGBT community, and they look at that photo and like, well, I want to be able to do the same thing also. So what we have to realize is social media right now controls a lot. Yeah. Especially for our kids. Yeah, I don't know. I don't want us to lose the mindset that even as we were kids, there were things that our parents told us that we could not do.
For sure.
I don't want him to be that 12-year-old that when he turns 25 that he looks back and says, why did I do that?
Yeah,
it's something that he may or may not regret, and granted,
it's public.
It's public.
Yeah.
Now, if he was a kid and it wasn't public and he did it, and because there's some things that I look back in college, I'm like, damn, I can't believe I wore that. But it wasn't on a public display. I didn't have to hear a bunch of critics.
And the other question is, why even open up the field for people to criticize him? But then the other side of that is, why does he have to hide in order to not be criticized? So I see both sides of it. It's not fair. It's not fair that he would have to hide in order to not have criticism, but it's also not fair that his family is kind of allowing people to criticize by posting him itself. I don't know the right answer. I'm not a parent, so I even hate commenting on stuff like this, but I have been a child before, and I do know that my mother would have never allowed me to wear acrylic nails and a crop top at 12. I can't even do it now. Let me walk out the house in a crop top. My mother was, where you going? I'm grown, mama, and I still check myself. But I mean, crazy. It's different. Parents raise their children differently. Now, I would have a problem if Dwayne if once Kavya becomes 12 and she wants to wear a crop top and nails, if he tells her no and tells people that he told her no, then I'm going to have a problem. That would be a problem. And I'm going to talk about the problem of sexism in the home. I don't see him doing that because he's quite woke, and I don't think Gabrielle would even allow that type of sexism. But if that happened, that's when I would say something. But at this moment, I mean, what can we really say about it?
And also, were some of the comments, because you also have to think about it, someone said there's no book on parenting. So when it comes down to Gabby and to Dwayne having to now, I guess, be more open to the LGBT community because they're raising a kid, that's part of it now. Were some of the comments maybe from the LGBT community plus the LGBT plus community, because I don't want to have an issue with that, LGBT plus community that's giving them like, yo, heads up. You may be allowing this and allowing the creative side, but remember that a number of them may have done things that they regret. Yeah. So they're kind of giving them the heads up like, yo, here's some advice.
This could happen, yeah.
This could happen.
So this is what Dwayne Wade responded. He said, I've seen some post-Thanksgiving hate on social about my family photo. Stupidity is a part of this world we live in, so I get it. But here's the thing. I've been chosen to lead my family, not y'all. So we will continue to be us and support each other with pride, love, and a smile. Deuces.
I'm with it. I completely respect it. Like you said, you can't tell anyone how to raise their kid, but for me, there needs to still be some type of parameter placed in as an adult. A kid shouldn't be able just to do that at 12 years old. Fingernails and a crop top.
Well, a person kind of said that in a more general way. A fan responded to him saying, I don't know if Dwayne and Gabrielle know how powerful and moving it is that they're embracing their son's individuality. In our community, being given autonomy over your body, beliefs, image, and statements as a child isn't a thing. That child is free and happy. So it's kind of what we were talking about. We would never be allowed to do that. It does seem like, I don't know if it's a black thing or what. I feel like it's just a societal thing where we don't really view kids as humans. We view them as subhuman until they reach 18.
Yeah.
We do not give them full autonomy. And given maybe not 100% of everything should be given to a 12-year-old of autonomy because they don't know everything yet. No. They're not capable of making 100% of the decisions for themselves. They're still a child. But I do think there are some things that we are historically not used to giving to children that we probably should rethink and probably should give them. And maybe this is one. So Dwayne did respond to that person and said, as a parent, my only goal is that my kids feel that I see them, love them, and support them. And honestly, I appreciate that because a lot of times growing up, especially as a little black girl, you don't feel like you always seen like, but that's just a thing. I know it's a thing in the black community. I don't know if it's a thing. I think it is kind of a thing in society, period, but definitely in the black community.
I just want to just grab hold just a little, just grab some back, grab just a little control back.
And it's gonna be a seesaw, because this is a new age. So it's kind of like that pendulum. Different. It's gonna fly all the way to the left and then fly all the way back to the right, and then at some point we're gonna find that balance in the middle.
Yeah. I'm hoping that with Gabby having so many friends within a community that he's able to see and use these people as a model to look up to. So yeah, I'm with it.
So let's wrap this up talking about this last crazy story.
What's this last crazy story?
Tanqueray's Tales.
Good old Tanqueray.
Good old Tanqueray and her real fish, honey. So if y'all look at Humans of New York, the social media account, then you know that they just randomly pick people on the streets of New York and get their story. Yeah. And they post it to their Facebook and Instagram page about just who they met, just a random person walking down the street, what their story is. Tanqueray took this to a whole nother level when they ran into her. It looked like, based on the picture, that she was just going to do some grocery shopping, child.
Walking, running an errand.
With her mink coat, and she just had a lot.
I feel like I saw a basket. Did she have that rolling New York basket in there?
Yeah. She had a lot to say.
She either was going to the grocery store or to the laundromat. That's the only time you see those baskets with those 4 wheels.
So the first line of her story was a lot. She says, now imagine this woman with the fur hat and the fur coat. She says, my mom threw me out of the house at 17 for getting pregnant, then had me arrested when I tried to get my clothes. Then she effed the head of parole to try to keep me in jail.
Oh, no.
Whew.
That's a lot.
It's a whole lot. Then she says, so I had the best wardrobe, because she was talking about how she basically was trying to, when she got out of jail, she was trying to secure a scholarship to get into the Fashion Institute of Technology. And she hated it, but she still wanted to design clothes and stuff like that. So she did it for strippers and porn stars in the old Times Square. Back in the day, Times Square was basically the red light district. So that's what she's talking about. She said that one night she was mistaken for a transsexual. And this is what had happened. She said, so I had the best wardrobe, mink coats, 5-inch heels, stockings with seams up the back, and I looked like a drag queen, honey. One night, a Hasidic rabbi tried to pick me up because he thought I was a tranny. Her word, not mine. I had to tell him, baby, this is real fish.
Not real fish.
So they went back to her after this story went completely viral.
It went viral.
They actually have, like, if you click on the Humans of New York page, like, now they still have, like, I think they had to put up, like, a security thing to be the right age to even read this. So, oh, gosh. I wish I would have just printed it out so I can read the full thing. But they went back to her to talk to her about her stories, and or actually they might have done this all on the same day and just decided to run more once they saw it went viral. She said her stripper name was Tanqueray. Apparently she became an actual stripper, and she was one back in the 70s, and she was the only black girl making white girl money. I danced in so many mob clubs that I learned Italian, child. Black girls weren't even allowed in some of these places. Nothing but Guidos with their pinky rings and the one long fingernail they use for cocaine. Oh, no. I even did a full 20 minutes in the place they named after they filmed Saturday Night Fever in. And she said, but I made my real money on the road. And she talked about how she basically, I think somebody looked it up to find out what president she was talking about. But she was talking about how, like, she was messing around with, like, a president. Yeah,
she mentioned a president. And it had to, I mean, you're never going to use a term president unless you're talking about the president of the United States.
Somebody said they checked it out and the timeline matches up. But basically, yeah, she said that she got somebody. It was someone that she got for or was it her? I think it was her. And maybe it was both, you know, like she had to bring people. It was basically like working in those mob clubs. They had to do things on the side sometimes. Mm-hmm. And a president came in and wanted some people, and they went back to the room and got a pop. I think it was always her and this girl that would always go back to the president. She had stories for days. So basically she is getting, she's going to get a publicist, and she is going to be she's being offered a book and documentary deal. Like, that's amazing. And also she wants to launch a podcast. So look, things can come out of, I want to hear more of her tales. I'm about to say we maybe could reach out to get good old Tanqueray on there. She seemed real legal. She was like, look, don't be going to ask that president nothing because I don't have no money for legal bills. Like, she knows what she's talking about and what she's doing. All right.
Get good old Tanqueray on the podcast. And we should bring some Tanqueray in here and have it sitting at the table and take shots every time we say her name.
Oh, Tanqueray. It's really nuts. Okay, so that's that. I want to end with our usual segment. Ish you should be watching, but you're not. I did pick something. I don't know if I should talk about it yet because I didn't finish the series. You know what? I'm going to talk about it. It's, okay, let me pull it up. It's on Netflix, and if you watched The Hills, am I the only black girl to watch The Hills? Because you're looking at me real crazy.
Yeah, I don't watch The Hills. That was never a show of mine.
Then this isn't going to be fun. Okay, so I watch The Hills religiously, and also it's kind of like Love and Hip Hop a little bit, but like way more tame. Okay. So it's called Singapore Social, and it's on Netflix. I know. I don't know how I find these things. Weird. That's the point of the segment. Shit you're not watching. I know you ain't watching, but you should be. The show is amazing. It's all in English. There are no subcaptions or anything like that. It is based in Singapore, and everybody on the show is, of Asian descent. Everybody's on the continent of Asia, but everybody speaks English. Everything is, you can understand everything that's happening. Okay, good. It's set basically like The Hills. There's this group of friends that are pretty successful, and they have these, jobs that are really great. Some of them are vloggers and bloggers. Mm-hmm. Some of them have real businesses. One is like an heir or an heiress. So they're just this group of friends that have been friends with for a while, and then they bring in other people, and they all become friends. So it's, just how a friend group is created. And they have their little inner fights sometimes, and then they have like how they make their money, which is so interesting. And then they also have like the love aspect, how some of them start dating each other. It is literally just like Love and Hip Hop without the fighting.
How is it like Love and Hip Hop? Okay, but I get it now.
Without the fighting. Well, without the physical fighting. They definitely have words with each other often, without the physical fighting, and also like The Hills, because it was always that drama.
But is this reality side or is it?
It's a reality show.
Oh, it's a reality.
It's a reality
I'm
show.
thinking it's a scripted series.
No.
Okay,
It's a reality series.
Okay.
And one of the girls in the social group is a pop star in Singapore, and she's trying to cross over to America. She actually does have a deal with Sony. I actually love her music. She's gorgeous, and everybody just looks gorgeous. Singapore has always been a place I wanted to go because ever since I watched Crazy Rich Asians, oh my God, the whole place just looks amazingly gorgeous. And it's I thought it was just like movie magic. No, Singapore social. I'm like, no. Singapore actually looks like that.
Singapore social.
I mean, it looks beautiful, like a beautiful place. Just, it's crazy to me. It looks like a movie.
You should take a YBF.
A YBF trip?
I would love
Singapore. So it's 8 episodes. I'm on episode 7, and I just love it. I love seeing everything they do. Hot men, like gorgeous men, beautiful women, and they are living their lives. We have so much in common, even though they're in a whole different country, a whole different place, on literally the other side of the world. They have the same. It's like watching The Hills and Love and Hip Hop just set in Singapore, but more sophisticated. I love it.
She could give you R&B divas.
Yes, so check it out, guys. No, because that's stuff they are already watching. So check it out, guys. Singapore Social. Let me know what you think. Hit me up on Instagram and let me know, because I want somebody to talk about it with. Obviously, my friends ain't watching it, so talk about it with me.
I'm going to go watch it. Yes. You know, I've always got to find me something to binge watch on Netflix.
There you go.
Yeah.
All right, so follow us and like us and subscribe to us.
Please
subscribe to us on everywhere you get your podcast, anywhere you get your podcast. Hit that like and hit that subscribe and hit a comment too if you got time. And also follow us on Instagram at the YBF_daily. Also at the YBF podcast. And also I'm at Natasha Renee. James.
And I am at It's James Terrell.
Get it. We're also on Twitter at the YBF. So follow us on socials, like, comment, subscribe, do everything you can to keep in touch with us, and we will keep you up to date as well. Also subscribe to our newsletter when you go to theyBF.com, where you will find all these stories we talked about, plus lots more. There's always a lot of shit to discuss, okay?
But we have the avenues so they can find out all the information that they need.
Listen, do it. TheYBF.com. Go visit it. Get it in your life. All right. Thank y'all so much for listening. Thanks, James, for being here.
Thanks for having me. It's always a great time. Always a great time.
Saturday morning dish.
Looking cute, getting ready for this ugly sweater party.
All right. Thank you, guys. Thanks for listening. Bye. Bye.